What would you do if you run completely out of cash? What would you do if you want to cut a dash? Polish up the shoes, throw on something fine. We don't talk about diesels, we're living in style this time. Cruising down the boulevard, wheels gleam in the night. Beige leather interior, looking chic alright. Money's a little tight, but I'm still making moves. Fake it like a pro, no budget reviews. Blues, what do you mean I'm not getting paid for this?
Right viewers, it's been quite a long time since I've been trying to find a Mark 1 Avensis for review. And here it is, owned by Mr. Young from the Cars Plus Classics channel. This is a 2001 Avensis 1.8 VVTi CDX Saloon. And yes, the colour is, well, very typical of the era, viewers. Not the sort of colour you tend to see on cars these days, but it's very sort of suitable for this. There is a bit of work to do on this car. We need to sort this sill out. The centre cap's missing, the wheels can do the refurb, and some of the paintwork isn't the best. But nevertheless, this is no budget reviews, viewers, so we don't mind about this sort of thing at all. The Avensis was launched at the end of 1997 and is essentially a very heavily facelifted version of the Carina E. And of course, Mr. Young has a Carina E, which we drove on the channel earlier this year. This is a facelifted car, facelifted occurred in 2000 when they introduced variable valve timing to all the engines. And this 1.8, it's very nippy, particularly because this car is a manual, which is very nice. The CDX was kind of towards the top end of the trim hierarchy for one of these. Unfortunately, there wasn't really a more powerful 2-litre. There was a 2-litre with like a sporty appearance package, but you didn't get even more power because of it. I think the most you got in the facelift cars is about 148 horsepower as far as I remember. So we'll take a look in the boot first, because I'm sure it's nice and capacious. The rear tail lamps do need attention. One of them's cracked and something might be able to be replaced. We also got a fair bit of things in the boot in terms of new parts need to be fitted. There we go. Yes, there we go. We've got a rear tail lamp. We've got other things in there that are going to be sorted out. The mirror cap's missing as well. It's actually quite big in here. If you bought the Estate, of course, it's even bigger than this. But yes, nice practical shape. A lot of people would prefer the hatchback in this country, but this is the sort of older gentleman specification, so the Saloon sort of makes sense with one of these. There we go. All viewers. Now, unfortunately, a beige leather interior was not an option on this generation of Avensis, but as you can see, it's quite nice in here, though. We'll get around the other side, actually. That's what we'll do, and sample the space and the ambience of this 1.8 CDX. Right, here we go. Ooh, luxury views, matte pockets and leather on the door card, electric windows, and a sunroof, which we're not touching because we don't touch old sunroofs on this channel, and a nice leather armrest. Ooh, you can hear the leather. Oh, we've got cup holders, and we don't have a place to put pens. We've got cup holders. Excellent, and an ashtray. Very nice, viewers. Very, very nice indeed. Carina E, of course, was used a lot by minicab drivers. I assume the Avensis was as well. So, yeah, the headlining's in nice condition. Actually, this wouldn't sag. It's the material it would be. Just shut the door a second, viewers, and see what that's like. It's very nice in here. The only thing is the knees are up quite high because the cushion's quite low. So that's not so good. The dashboard is a bit different to the Carina E. It's a bit more modern, but it does look, I suppose, a bit more generic or something, if I can use that word. Very nice and sort of light in here as well. The light headlining of a sunroof, the big windows, headroom is very good. So the legroom is actually very good as well. It's a nice spacious car, this. probably very popular with minicab drivers back in the day. It's just rare to see these. You don't see a lot of these at all anymore anywhere. I quite like it. The only thing I would need is cruise control. I don't know if it's optional on the CDX or something. That's what I would need. Apart from that, I'm very happy, viewers. Right, viewers, let's open up and see inside the Toyota Avensis something, as Jeremy Clarkson referred to it in 1997 when he filmed one of the first ones. Unfortunately, the wood is fake. It's not real wood, but then if you bought a Mazda 626 at this time, it'd be the same, which came out, I think, the same year, actually. That generation. We've got power shot driver's window, and more leather, and more fake wood, and climate control, and all kinds of things. A little tiny sort of coin holder thing. Apparently on these, often they came with electric seats, heated seats in other markets, but that is the coin holder. We didn't get electric seats for CDX in Britain for reasons, I'm not quite sure why. And we've got a tape player. Okay, guidance and reroute. Have we actually got sat-nav in here, viewers? I doubt it. It's probably just a sort of generic thing on there. Yeah, we could say Avensis on here. We've got a branded stereo, which is very nice. Do we have an armrest with some storage? Yes, we do. Where's it? Those are cassette slots. Wow. Door bins are a little bit on the disappointing side. They're quite long, but they're very, very shallow. That coin tray I'm not touching because it's broken. Likewise, the sunroof we're not touching. We don't touch sunroofs in old cars, viewers. Yeah, it's very comfortable. Unsurprisingly, this wheel reminds me of the old Carina E. It's like an updated version of it. Dash is quite different. There's not really what to say. The controls are very, very well located, and they're very easy to find and very easy to understand. I mean, that's very good. Fog lamp switches on here for front and rear fog lamps. Unlike on some of the 1990s Japanese cars, this is 2001, the indicator stalk is on the left, which is what we prefer over here, really, isn't it? I'm going to get my secret mission documents, viewers, and see if they go in. Okay, viewers, here are my secret mission documents. Let's see if they go in the glove box. Yes! Viewers, now I'm really excited. Apparently the sat-nav works. Let's actually turn that on and see what we can do. Right, as you can see, it's actually showing this. Now, if we want to have guidance, it says please start following this route. Okay, well that's something. If we actually want to get to reset, we have to press this button several times, and then we're supposed to be able to enter a route, but it's not currently working, viewers. And would you want to follow something on this tiny screen in the year 2001? I'm not sure, viewers, but there it is. So here is the 1.8 engine. It develops about 127 horsepower. All the engines, when the facelift happened in 2000, were changed. All the codes changed. I think this is a 1ZZ, this particular car. And yeah, it went into all sorts of other things. I think the MR2s used a version of this engine, the Celica's used a version of this engine. Got a nice new alternator on here. Like the majority of Toyota engines, this is a chain engine. So they're generally very reliable. They do have a reputation of burning oil. This one's absolutely fine. And it's on, I think, 132,000 miles, this car, and it doesn't actually look like it under here at all, which is good. The biggest problem you're going to find on one of these cars is rust. This car's already been patched, it probably needs patching again. Apart from that, there's not an awful lot to go wrong. But he had a reputation, these cars back in the day, for being very dependable, a bit like an Accord or a P10 Primera. In this case, around this time, it would be a P11. Yeah. Headlamps look good. I don't know if they've been replaced or not at some point. I think we better go on the road views and see how this event something actually performs. So taking this on the streets of South London, fortunately this particular car is ultra emission compliant because it's a 2001. It feels actually surprisingly nippy. This is the later 1.8, 127 horsepower. and it certainly feels like it. Steering actually is a little bit on the light side, but it's fine. On the pre-facelift cars, the basic engine developed 99 horsepower and was a 1.6. Then there was a 1.8 with 108 horsepower, and a 2 litre 129 horsepower. When the facelift occurred in 2000, all the engines were given variable valve timing, and the 1.6 was up to I think 106 horsepower. This developed 127 horsepower, and the 2 litres actually developed 148 horsepower. There were also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all sorts of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. We actually found a rare 30-mile-an-hour bit here in South London, which is good. The car just wants to go really fast. I think 0 to 60 in this is about 9 seconds, and it certainly feels it. My gosh, this is really lively. This car's at 132,000 miles. Suspension is a little bit softer than something like a Primera, particularly a P11 would have been available at the same time. I have driven a P11 and they are quite firm. This one feels a little bit softer. The seats are nice and comfortable. I prefer heated seats. Obviously they weren't available in this country, which is a shame. But yeah, steering seems nice and accurate. Visibility is very good in this car. It drives a lot better than it looks, actually. They must have done some versions of the suspension for the facelift, because these cars were criticised at the time of launch for being very dull and bland to drive. The benchmark, of course, for handling would be something like a Mark II Mondeo or a P11 Primera when the launch came. And we've driven both of those. This is actually not too bad in terms of comparison. It just feels a lot faster than you'd imagine it to be with a 1.8 litre. With a 2 litre must be bonkers fast, actually, which I quite like. I'm actually quite fond of this car. I'm more fond of it than I expected. I expected to like it, but I like it a lot more. I'm surprised with the way that this actually drives, because it's so much better than I imagined it would be. Excellent viewers. We're enjoying ourselves very much today. Apparently the boot on this car is 501 litres, which I can well believe. Obviously when we're in state it's even more. So the base model was the S, which didn't come with an awful lot. You really want to be looking at something like, I don't know, if you're like me, an SR or a CDX, but you could get an SE and a GLS and a GS as well. And then there was the Vermont Special Edition. So viewers, should you consider a Mark I Toyota Avensis for your hard-earned budget up to £1,000? Obviously, I would prefer the CDX model because I'm just that sort of inclined. Yes, I quite like this car, actually, viewers. It sort of appeals to me greatly. We'd prefer a beige leather interior. They weren't available, so we'll have to go with this, which is fine, fake wood and everything else. Yes, it's just a breed of these cars that were around. You know, things like the Honda Accord from the late 90s and the P11 Primera and things like that, which I don't really see anymore. They're not necessarily valuable, they're just rare. And you know, actually these were built to a sort of higher standard than you would imagine they were. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Thank you to Mr. Young from the Cars Plus Classics channel for letting me have a go in this car today. And we shall see you again very soon for some more inexpensive motoring.